Hi everybody, welcome to another hour of English classes here on Verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and in this hour we're going to be having a reading class. So if you are interested in practicing your reading skills in English, then I hope you join us. To join the class, all you need to do is click on the Join Class button, but you do need to be a member of Verbling.com. So if you are not yet a member, then you can go to the page and pay. It's $45, but I believe they're still having a special 20% off. So you can try out Verbling for a month to see if you like it, see if you use it. It's a pretty neat service. You get to have English classes anytime, every day, all day long. So just come on every hour on the hour, and a new class is starting. So let's see who's here. Antonio.
Adela.
Or is it Adela? Adela, I remember as soon as I said that. Adela. Hi, Adela. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah,
Fine.
I see the first part only when I see in the little square.
Yes.
So it's Antonio y Adela. Okay. Welcome. And Jose, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Welcome. And Miguel, how are you doing?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
No, I said Miguel, but he didn't answer. So hi, Paul.
Yes, because yes, I think that you somehow disturbed my name, and I can't recognize. Yes, okay.
No,
Yeah, okay.
I was talking to Miguel or Michael, but he's back now. So sometimes when the class is starting, people are coming in and then dropping because of their internet connection or something.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to welcome everybody and get everybody settled into class here.
Yes, typical problem.
Yeah, it takes a couple minutes.
Yes.
Hi, Mario. How are you doing?
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
You had a good Christmas?
Yeah, pretty mellow. Pretty mellow. My three children are older now, so we don't do a lot of gifts. We do like bigger gifts, like they get one or two things instead of lots of small toys. So they're happy.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm happy. Good. Yes. How about you? Good Christmas?
Yeah, good Christmas as well.
Nice.
Everything went fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. It's funny to me because these types of things, every year there's so much build-up. Like it means like thinking about it, planning about it, and then it just happens and then it's over. And then it's like you're on to the next thing. So it's a very short holiday.
Yes.
It doesn't last for like a whole week or something. So it's funny, but it's good. All right, let's see. Nurel's back with us. Hi, Nurel. How are you doing today?
Hi, Lisa. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Good. I'm doing okay.
Great.
I keep forgetting that it's almost the end of the year. Like I keep forgetting what day it is, but actually tomorrow is the last day of this year, right?
Yes, and I'm so happy to get a ride of 2013.
Oh yeah, you say goodbye to 2013.
Yes, I don't like shape numbers that are not rounded.
Oh really? Okay. 2014 will be better for you.
Oh, for all of us.
For all of us, okay. I like to hear that.
Yes.
That's a good thing. And Miguel, is your microphone working now?
Okay, Lisa. Hello.
Hello. Welcome. What?
The second class with you.
I didn't hear you. I think your connection might be a little slow. What?
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. My second class with you.
Good. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. I know we had that one class where it was almost all people from Spain. That was
Oh.
cool.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
this time we have different people from different places. Okay, you guys, I put the link.
Do you
What, Jose? I mean, Miguel?
do you speak
Yes.
Spanish? Okay.
See. Okay. All right, you guys. So here is an article I found today. I was trying to think of an article that we could talk about, like New Year's, setting goals for the New Year, something like that. But I do have a class on New Year's Day, actually, so I probably will do something like that for that day. So this day is just kind of normal things. But I found this interesting, especially because I have teenagers, and I thought it might be something that would be good for discussion. So we can read it, talk about it. So it's called Don't Blame Social Media If Your Teen is Unsocial. It's your fault. So it's talking to the parents. So the title is saying that you can't blame social media, so like Twitter or Facebook or other social media pages or websites, if your teen is unsocial. Unsocial means they don't like to talk to other people in person. It's your fault, is what they're saying. So your fault is referring to the parents. It's your fault. Okay, I will get started here. Are teenagers losing their social skills? Parents and pundits seem to think so. Teens spend so much time online, we're told, that they're no longer able to handle the messy, intimate task of hanging out face-to-face. After school, my son is on Facebook with his friends. If it isn't online, it isn't real to him, one mother recently told me in a panic. Everything is virtual. Okay, how about we start with Paul?
Should I do read this? Or?
Yes, let me explain, everybody. I will read, basically a little bit at a time, maybe one paragraph, or sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes it's a little shorter. I will read out loud so you guys can hear how I pronounce the words, and you can listen, follow along, and then when I call on your name, you will read the same thing I just read so you can practice.
Okay.
Okay?
It's
Yeah.
simple. Are teenagers losing their social skills? Parents and pundits seem to think so. Teens spend so much time online. We're told that they're no longer able to handle the messy, intimate task of hanging out face to face. After school, my son is on Facebook with his friends. If it isn't online, it isn't real to him. My mother recently told me in a panic. Everything is virtual.
Virtual. Good.
Virtual.
Good.
Okay.
So now I'll go over some vocabulary. So parents and pundits. So pundits are the kind of people who you see in the media, like on TV or in the online, in the newspapers, that talk about things. So they're commentators. They comment on trends, things that are happening in the news, in society. So parents and pundits say that. And they're telling us that they can no longer handle. To handle something means to be capable of doing it. So they can't handle the messy, which means, so they're talking about hanging out face-to-face with another person or in person. And what people are saying, these parents and pundits, are that teens can no longer do that. They can't handle the messy, intimate. Messy means like it's not nice and clean. It's the opposite. It's kind of messy. And intimate means close. So usually when you're speaking face-to-face with someone, your emotions might come up, the tone of voice, you have the body language, all those different things that you don't really have when you are just Facebooking with somebody or chatting with them on Facebook. And she told him in a panic. So she's worried about it. This mother of some teenager is worried about her son. Everything is virtual. So we use the word virtual to talk about in the world of cyberspace or in the computers rather than in person. Now I'm not convinced this trend is real. I've read the evidence about the narcissism epidemic and the apparent decline in empathy in young people, and while it's intriguing, it's provisional. Okay, Norel.
Now I'm convinced this trend is real. I have read the evidence about the narcissism epidemic and the apparent decline in empathy in young people. And while it's intriguing, it's provisional.
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 Yeah. So the author who's writing this, he's saying that he is not convinced. That means he doesn't believe this is really true. He doesn't believe that this trend or this thing that parents and pundits are talking about, he doesn't really believe that that's actually happening. They're describing it as one thing, and he's saying it's not. It's not that way. So then here we have the narcissism epidemic. So I don't know if you guys have read about it, but it's been a lot in the news and online the last year or two that because of places like Facebook, people are showing how narcissistic they are, how in love with themselves they are, and how they just think about themselves all the time by posting pictures of themselves, and that's called narcissism, and it's epidemic, so everybody's doing it. So many people are doing it. And apparent, so it seems like if something is apparent, it just seems. We don't know if it's actually happening, but it seems like there's a decline in empathy. So young people aren't being able to empathize is the verb. It just means that they can't feel they can't understand how other people are feeling. If you have empathy for somebody, it's like compassion. You understand what they're going through. And while it's intriguing, this argument might be kind of interesting, it's provisional. It means it's changing. It's not necessarily set in stone. This is a changing kind of a situation. Lots of work offers the opposite conclusion, such as Pew surveys finding that kids who text the most also socialize the most in person. But for the sake of argument, let's agree that we have a crisis. Let's agree that kids aren't spending enough time together mastering social skills. Who is responsible? Has crafty Facebook with its casino-like structure of algorithmic nudging hypnotized our youth? Okay, next up is Miguel.
Okay. Lots of work offer the opposite conclusion, such as Pew surveys finding that kids who text the most also socialize the most in person. But for the sake of argument, let's agree that we have a crisis. Let's agree that guys aren't spending enough time together mastering social skills. Continue?
Yes, all the way till here.
Okay. Who is responsible has crafty Facebook with its casino-like structure of algorithmic nudging, hypnotize or
youth.
Youth.
All right, a couple of pronunciations. Let's go over. Oh, so in Spanish it's crisis, but in English we say crisis. So it's like a long I sound and then the shorter crisis.
Crisis. Okay.
Crisis, and then kids.
kids.
And then this one is hypnotized. So it has 3 syllables. Hypnotized.
Hypnotized.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So he's saying that the opposite may actually be true. That actually kids who text the most, who send the most text messages, they like to socialize the most, even in person. So to socialize means to, hang out with your friends, to talk, to visit, to chat with people in person. And then we have this phrase here that we use a lot in English. We say but for the sake of argument. So that just means like, okay, we're not going to argue who's right or who's wrong. Let's just say this. And so you can start off a sentence that way. If you don't want to argue with somebody, we'll say, okay, let's just assume you're right, or this is really how it is. So for the sake of argument means so we don't have to argue. Let's agree that we do have a crisis. So, okay, he's saying, okay, let's assume we do. And let's also agree that they are not spending enough time to master the social skills. They're not learning how to talk to each other. What's more important for him is he wants to know who is or who's responsible for this. And he says, has crafty Facebook. So crafty means a smart person. So in this case, it's a business, Facebook. But if you're very crafty, you're very intelligent, you're very smart, you can figure things out. And so have they hypnotized our youth with this type of interface that they have? Casino-like structure of algorithmic nudging. So casino-like means like it's a casino. The structure and the algorithmic has to do with the algorithms that they use in their computer programming they nudge you like, oh, what are you doing, and all the messages that you get, your friends just said this, all the updates, that nudges you or pushes you to want to keep checking your Facebook page and, making comments. That's what he's talking about. If kids can't socialize, who should parents blame? Simple. They should blame themselves. This is the argument advanced in It's Complicated, The Social Lives of Networked Teens by Microsoft researcher Dana Boyd. Boyd, full disclosure, a friend of mine, has spent a decade interviewing hundreds of teens about their online lives. Okay, Jose.
Starting if.
Yes, exactly.
If kids can't socialize, who should parents blame? Simple. They should blame themselves. This is the argument advanced in It's Complicated, The Social Lives of Networked Teens by Microsoft researcher Dana Boyd. Continue.
Yeah, all the way to here.
Boyd, full disclosure, a friend of mine has spent a decade interviewing hundreds of teens about their online lives.
Their online
lives.
Online lives. Yeah, good. Okay, so he's saying, all right, so let's just say it's true. They can't socialize. Who should parents blame? Who should they say is at fault for this? Just themselves is what he's saying. They should blame. So to blame somebody means you say you're the person that caused this problem. You're the person who is responsible. So he's saying the parents themselves are to blame or are responsible. And he's saying that this is the argument advanced in. So argument advanced in this book. So this person wrote a book and she is arguing that it's the parents' fault. So if we use the words here advanced in, it just means that's what she says in her book. So it's the argument that is talked about in her book. That's her philosophy or her theory or her reasoning, you could say. And she worked at Microsoft. And this here is called full disclosure. Whenever a person is promoting or writing about something else in business or something like that, you're supposed to, the tradition or the custom is to disclose any kind of relationship that you have with that other person. If you have a personal relationship, if you're part of your family, a familial relationship, or a financial relationship. Maybe you are a stockholder or something like that. So that's what he's doing here in these dashes. In between the dashes, he's saying, this person is a friend of mine. I have to let you know that. So that's called full disclosure. He is disclosing that information. And she has spent a decade, so that's 10 years, interviewing all these teenagers about their online lives. What do they do online? What she has found over and over is that teenagers would love to socialize face-to-face with their friends, but adult society won't let them. Teens aren't addicted to social media. They're addicted to each other, Boyd says. They're not allowed to hang out the way you and I did, so they've moved it online. Okay, Paul?
Yes, okay. And just switch the tab. Okay. What she has found over and over, that teenagers would love to socialize face-to-face with their friends, but adult society won't let them. Teens aren't addicted to social media. They're addicted to each other, Boyd says. They're not allowed to hang out the way you and I did, so they moved online.
They moved it online. So she has found over and over, so that just means time and time again. So, it's like a theme running through her research. All these teenagers actually do want to socialize face-to-face. They want to be with their friends. But what she found is that adult society, so the parents basically, won't let them. They're not addicted. So addicted, you guys probably all know, means you can't live without it. You have to do it all the time, or now and then, or whatever. It's something you must do. They're addicted to each other, so they want to hang out with each other. To hang out just means to spend time with each other, but they're not allowed to do that. The parents, for whatever reasons, don't let them. So they've moved it online. So the thing that they're referring to here, they moved their social lives online. So now they talk to each other a lot, but it's always online via Facebook or text messaging or something like that.
And this is the reason why the Snapchat has a lot of participants in their media, and Facebook can buy them because their main auditory maybe the teenagers are teenagers.
Right. Yeah, we read an article about that, about Snapchat did not let Facebook buy them, even for like what, $3 billion or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They have a specific market because the teens. It said in the article that we read one time that the teenagers, they wanted to have their own space. They didn't, because so many teenagers are friends with their parents on Facebook, but they don't want their parents to see everything they're doing. So they moved to Snapchat. Yeah. Hi, Adela. You came back. Adela, do you want to read? You'll be the next to read after I read this.
You forgot me.
Oh, sorry, Mario. I forgot you. That's weird. Okay, then you'll be next. It's true. As a teenager in the early 80s, I could roam pretty widely with my friends as long as we were back by dark. But over the next 3 decades, the media began delivering a metronomic diet of horrifying but rare child abduction stories, and parents shortened the leash on their kids. Sorry, Mario. There you go. I get confused sometimes when I'm explaining. I'm going back and forth, so I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. It's true. As a teenager in the early 80s, I could roam pretty widely with my friends, as long as we were back by dark. But over the next 3 decades, the media began delivering a metronomic diet of horrifying but rare child abduction stories. and parents shorten the leash on their kids.
Good. So it's true. So this person who's writing the article is saying that during the 1980s, when he was a teenager, so that's when I was a teenager, people of that age during that time could roam pretty widely. So could, that means they were allowed to. Roam means just go wherever you want. You could walk out of your house or drive in your car, and you could walk around the town or go hang out somewhere, and you could do that pretty widely. So that means far away from your home. You didn't have to stay at home or just at school. As long as they were back by dark. So as long as you came home by the time it was dark, then your parents didn't worry so much about you. But he says what has happened over the last 30 years, so the 3 decades, is that the media began delivering. So the media gave or talked about or delivered to the consumer, the readers, a metronomic diet. So this is an interesting word. A metronome is the thing that when you're like practicing the piano, it goes tick, tock, tick, tock. It keeps your pace, and it's very regular. So what he means here is that the media gave a regular diet, so of horrifying news. So that, like it was a regular thing, like every week maybe, or every other week, there was something in the news that was horrifying to parents about children. So, for example, your child being stolen or abducted, even though it's rare, it doesn't happen every day, all day long, but it was being talked about in the media more often. And so people were becoming more afraid of letting their children go outside of the home. And so he says parents shorten the leash on their kids. So usually you think of a leash, you use a leash with a dog. If you're going to take your dog for a walk, you use the leash. And sometimes you can have a very long leash and your dog gets to walk really far ahead of you. And sometimes you have to have a very short leash. And so it means you keep an eye on your dog. And that's the thing that the parents did. They shortened the leash on their kids. So they did not let their kids go far away from home. Politicians warned of incipient waves of youth, wilding, and super predators, neither of which emerged. Municipalities crafted anti-loitering laws and curfews to keep young people from congregating alone. New neighborhoods had fewer public spaces. Crime rates plummeted, but moral panic soared. Meanwhile, increased competition to get into college meant well-off parents began heavily scheduling their kids' after-school lives. Okay, Adela? Adela, I don't hear you, but your microphone is not muted. Maybe your
This means
sound.
super predator.
What?
Super predator. What does this mean?
Super predator.
Oh, super predator.
Yeah. A predator is somebody who's going after your child, like is going to steal your child or cause harm or something like that, abuse your child. But a super predator was like, somebody who's going to do that to a lot of kids, not just one. So.
Yes, I know there's the name. The film is the same name, Predator. But how it is related with the people?
People? Okay. So a predator is somebody who goes after another person. In the animal kingdom, the predator is the one who eats something else. You have the predator and you have the prey, and the predator. So in this case, the politicians warned of waves. So this whole thing, it just means that the politicians were warning the population that more people were going to get abducted, more kids were going to be in danger because there were going to be more of not just predators but super predators. People with a lot of power to abduct children or convince them, to go with them and to do harm to them. So it's kind of like a scare tactic, trying to scare people. Because because he says neither of which emerged, so it didn't actually happen. So I guess Adela's having trouble with the connection. So Nurel, how about you read for us this paragraph?
Okay, politicians warned of incipient waves of youth, wildling and super predators, neither of which emerged. Municipalities craft anti-loitering laws and curfews to keep young people from congregating alone. New neighborhoods had fewer public space. Crime rates plummeted, but moral panic soared. Meanwhile, increased competition to get into college meant well of parents began heavily scheduling their kids after school lives.
Okay, so here, politicians warned, so they warned the public of incipient. So incipient means like they're going to start, something that will begin to happen. So what they were saying is, be careful. We see that, these waves of, they talk about waves of crime. It means like an increase and then decrease and increase and decrease of crimes. And so they were talking about this happening, but it didn't. Youth wilding, like crazy, like teenagers getting more and more crazy and wild, like drinking alcohol and drugs, and then there would be more people trying to abduct children or steal them away from their parents. But he's saying none of that actually happened. It didn't emerge. To emerge means to come about or to happen. So municipalities or city governments, they crafted. Crafted means they created, they wrote, or they made anti-loitering laws. So to loiter around somewhere means to hang around. So if you're at a park and you see a group of people, they're just hanging around talking, maybe they're drinking some sodas, that's called loitering. And it's okay to do it in a park usually, but not usually in front of businesses, like in front of a pizza place or in front of McDonald's or something. So
is loitering a patrolling well, I don't know how to say it as a noun. It's a petrol stations in the
gas stations,
city.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay,
yeah.
I understood it correctly.
Yes, yeah, like so municipalities, so the towns, like in big cities and in small towns, they created or wrote these anti-loitering laws, and that was to try to break up groups of people. So you didn't want a bunch of teenagers hanging around, talking, maybe they're smoking, something like that. And so they made these laws that said you couldn't loiter, and I don't know exactly what they said. Maybe sometimes like you're not supposed to have 3 or 4 people together, or maybe it's certain times of the day, that kind of thing. And also a curfew is a time. So maybe a town says that there's a curfew at 11 o'clock at night. So if you're a teenager, you're not an adult yet, you're under 18, and you're seen outside past 11 o'clock, then the cops can, pull you over, talk to you, take you home, that kind of thing. That's what a curfew is. It means you have to be at home, not out on the streets after a certain time. And this was all used to help, to keep people from congregating, congregating together is actually what's it. So they didn't want them to get together. To congregate means a bunch of people come together in a group. Also, new neighborhoods had fewer public spaces like parks, for example. And he's saying here, crime rates plummeted, so the crime did go down. Plummet means to go down. So the crime did go down with these laws, but moral panic soared. So parents were freaked out. Their panic went up. To soar means to go up. And then, of course, meanwhile, at the same time, this other thing is happening, and that is it's very difficult to get into certain colleges now. So it's increased competition. So nowadays teenagers are very busy. They have heavily scheduled lives because they want to get into the good colleges. So maybe they go to school all day, then they have jobs, or they have sports, or maybe they do volunteer activities. maybe they have lessons for musical instruments, something like that. They have a very heavy schedule. Heavy schedule means they have a lot to do every day. The result, Boyd discovered, is that today's teens have neither the time nor the freedom to hang out. So their avid migration to social media is a rational response to a crazy situation. They'd rather socialize face-to-face so long as it's unstructured and away from grown-ups. I don't care where, one told Boyd wistfully, just not home. So they just want to be away from home. Adela, let's try you again. Are you back now? Is your
Yes.
microphone working? Okay, great.
Yes.
You want to read that?
Yes.
Okay.
The result Boyd discovered is that today teens have neither the time nor the freedom to hang out. So their avid migration to social media is a rational response to a crazy situation. They rather socialize face-to-face so long as it's unstructured and away from grown-up. I don't care where one told Boy wistful, just not home.
Just not home.
Just not home.
Okay. Whoops. My computer got frozen. It's not going up and down. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
just have to refresh my page because it got locked up or something. There we go. Here we go. That's kind of slow. I don't know why. Whoops. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. All right. Sometimes the documents can be slow. So, I mean, the basic thing, as I'm trying to get back to our place here, is that they do want to hang out together, but apparently the parents aren't letting them. And she says here, the avid migration. So to avid means like with a lot of enthusiasm. So if you're an avid video game player, that means you're enthusiastic about it. You like to do it. So they are having an avid migration. So their movement to social media, you know, their migration to means movement to social media, is very enthusiastic. They like it. And she's saying, the author of the book, is saying that this is a rational response. It's logical. It's a logical response to this crazy situation. You know, it's like, what else are they going to do? They really do want to see each other. It's just that they can't. So instead, they have the social media in order to do that, to still talk to each other. They want it. They would prefer to have an unstructured way to do it. So instead of having like, you know, a certain time and you're at school or you're at your parents' house or something, they just want to have freedom. They just want to go and do what they want in an unstructured way and away from grown-ups, so away from the adults. They don't want to hang around with their parents or other adults like teachers and stuff. Wistfully means you say that he told this Boyd, the researcher, this person told her wistfully. Wistfully means like with wishing you could do it. Like if I tell you something wistfully, it means I'm telling you because I really wish it would happen. Like I'm dreaming or I'm wishing that it would just be true, but it's not. He doesn't want to be just at home. Forget the empathy problem. These kids crave seeing friends in person. In fact, Boyd found that many high school students flock to football games, not because they like football, but because they can meet in an unstructured context. They spend the game chatting, ignoring the field and their phones. You don't need Snapchat when your friends are right beside you. Okay, let's see. How about Miguel?
Miguel, are you here?
Miguel, there you go.
Hmm? Yes, I don't
Miguel,
think
I
I
don't hear
can.
you. How about
Yes.
Jose? Jose, you want to read that?
Well, it
How about
seems that they're not very.
Mario?
Mhm.
Mario?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Somebody read. Okay, Mario, go ahead.
Okay. Forget the empathy programs. Its kids crave seeing friends in person. In fact, Boyd found that many high school students flock to football games not because they like football, but because they can meet in an unstructured contest. They spend the game chatting, ignoring the field and their phones. You don't need Snapchat when your friends are right beside you.
Mhm.
So, okay, yeah.
Yeah, stop there. So they crave. To crave something means you really want it. A lot of times we use the word crave when you think about food. You know, you have a craving for chocolate, something like that. You really want to eat it. But in this case, they crave seeing their friends. They want to see their friends in person, so in real life, not just in the virtual world. They flock to football games. It means they go a big groups of them. So a flock of birds is a big group of birds, and they flock together. So in this case, you have to think of kids in groups going to football games. And it's funny because he says they don't actually like football necessarily. They just want to meet in this unstructured context. So the context is like the environment. So they're going to be there, and their parents aren't going to be there, and the other adults in their lives won't be there. They get to be there by themselves. And then, of course, they spend the game or the time during the game chatting, which just means talking, and ignoring the field. So they're not even watching the game. They're just talking, and they're not using their phones. And then, like Paul said, Snapchat, which is a new popular application, they don't need it if their friends are right there. You don't have to take pictures of each other and send them because you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
parents of America, the problem is you. The solution is you. If you want your kids to learn valuable face-to-face skills, conquer your own irrational fears and give them more freedom. They want the same face-to-face intimacy you grew up with. Stranger danger, panic, is the best gift America ever gave to Facebook. Okay, let's see. Miguel, are you back? Maybe there's something wrong with your mic. And Jose? Or Adela, why don't you finish up?
Yes.
Okay, you can read from here.
So, parents of America, the problem is you. The solution is you. If you want your kids to learn valuable face-to-face skills, conquer your own irrational fears and give them more freedom. They want the same face-to-face intimacy you grew up with stranger danger. Panic is the best gift America ever gave to Facebook.
Ever gave to Facebook. So.
Ever gave to Facebook.
Yes, good, ever.
Okay.
So, parents of America. So the problem is you, the solution. So the solution is the answer to the problem, how to fix a problem. That's the solution. So just remember that T-I-O-N, it has that shun sound. To conquer. So you want them to learn these valuable means important, of value, face-to-face skills. Conquer your own irrational fears. So overcome. To conquer something means to overcome it, to get past it. So you have to conquer your own irrational fears. So it just means they are not rational. They are not logical. They're not real, maybe. They're irrational. They're kind of crazy fears. And you have to give your teenagers more freedom. They have to be able to go and do things with their friends in an unstructured way. They want the same face-to-face intimacy, so that same closeness that you grew up with, that you had when you were a teenager, that you grew up with. To grow up means to get older. So when I was growing up, I was able to, you could say that. And this term here, stranger danger, that's a term that came up in the last decades, talking about, strangers. People were always talking about don't let your kids talk to strangers. So if a stranger came up, kids would say stranger danger, and it's kind of a funny thing to say now, but they were saying, a person you don't know, a stranger, could be dangerous. So you were kind of afraid or panicked about that. And he's saying that stranger danger is the best gift America ever gave to Facebook. So, if you want your kids to get off of Facebook, you have to give them more freedom. And because they're so afraid, that's why they're spending so much time on Facebook. And so that was a gift to Facebook, to have all these kids going there instead of seeing each other in person. And this article is from Wired.com, so if you want to see the original article, you can click on that link. But we have a little bit less than 15 minutes, so now we can discuss. But first, I want to make sure, does anybody want me to answer any questions about the language, the English, any words or any structures or anything you're not sure about? Do you have any questions?
Lisa, please.
Yeah.
Just one question. Why Americans consider that Facebook is a gift for teens?
Yeah, that one was a little funny. So let me say it again. So stranger danger panic. So this is what he's talking about. This stranger danger panic, that is the gift that America, so he means the population, the parents of America, the politicians, the media, they gave that gift to Facebook. So what he means there is, because we made our children, or because we became afraid that our children would get kidnapped or beaten up, or something bad would happen to them, that's a gift to Facebook, because now they spend all their time on Facebook. So if we didn't, so basically another way to say it is, if we didn't have this idea of stranger danger panic, if we weren't so afraid of other people, then the teenagers would not be spending so much time on Facebook. So it's kind of like a weird way to say it, but what he means is, because the parents have been so afraid, and because there's this panic about danger out there with strangers and everything, it's kind of like giving a gift to Facebook, because it's like, here's your gift, here's all of these people who will use Facebook. That's the gift, a bunch of consumers. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Still confused.
Okay. Stranger danger panic. So you got to think of that as one thing. So instead of stranger danger panic, I could say, it's completely something different. It could be like the flowers, all right? The flowers you could say, were the best gift America ever gave to Facebook, right? Would you understand that? So
yes.
We would give flowers to Facebook, but instead, he's saying it's the stranger danger panic. So it's the panic that parents feel. That is a gift to Facebook. Why is it a gift? Because it means a lot of people use Facebook.
So they are not afraid.
Well, they're not afraid of using Facebook, but because they are afraid of strangers, of going outside, of letting their teenagers just go hang out in the streets, instead of hanging out in the streets now, they are online. They're at home online.
Yes, that makes sense.
And so because they're using Facebook, that's like a gift. Like here's all of our teenagers, Facebook, here, keep them busy, kind of thing. And it's considered a gift. He's saying that kind of as a sarcastic. It's not a true thing. This is a sarcastic remark.
Yeah. So this expression works in favor of Facebook.
Exactly.
Oh,
yes, exactly.
Great. Yes.
It's because of this panic, this attitude towards strangers and the danger out there in the world. That's the reason why so many teenagers are spending time online on websites like Facebook. So not just Facebook, but that's the idea, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Oh, thank
it's a
you.
kind of a
Thank you.
weird structure the way he put it, but that's what he meant. You know, it's kind of like here you
Yeah.
go, you know. So it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you could, another way to say it was like, you know, maybe at another time, maybe 30, 40 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook would not be so, um, um,
Popular.
yeah, so popular because people were just hanging out with each other. Like if you watch movies, like if you watch the movie, for example, Grease, that's
Mm-hmm.
it's an American movie that's about like the 1950s or something. And you
Uh-huh.
see what they do. It's very different than now. Like they go and they drive in their cars on the weekends, Friday night, Saturday night. They go to the diner and, you know, it's a bunch of teenagers just, they do, you know, things that are dangerous. Maybe they drive cars too fast. They smoke. They, you know, have sex, you know, stuff like this. It's not necessarily the things that parents, you know, want their teenagers to be doing, but it happened. You know, they were free. They had a lot more freedom.
Uh-huh.
They weren't so worried about getting killed or you know getting abducted or something like that. Yeah, they had more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and so
Yes.
that brings us to the question. So, for example, Mario, when you were a teenager, did you have a lot of freedom?
Oh, yes, of course. Back in, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up in my home country, so we were very free
Uh-huh.
at that period. I have my little brother,
Yeah.
so we were together, and
Mhm.
then we were very free. Mother, she want to work, and then we had the time to play and to do the chores as well. But
Mhm.
we were very free, and
Yeah.
yes, with nothing. It's not like now. Now we
Yeah.
have a lot of tablets and like that. But at
Yeah.
that period, we were very happy.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and free.
And in France right now, do the teenagers have the same problem as the American teenagers? Like their parents are too worried
Yes, of
about them?
course.
Yeah.
But I think this is an issue about a big city.
Okay.
If
Mhm.
you yes, if you live in the country, it's good. It's gonna be very different because it's smaller, and
Mhm.
people knows each other, so people
Mhm.
can hang around together with their peers, and
Yeah.
it is natural. But in big metropolis like Paris, it's of course, but the danger is really there because you
Mhm.
have a lot of crazy people.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you never know. So you must care about the fact that you have to protect your
Sure.
children. So
Yeah.
but it's related with the big city, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Paul, how about you? When you were a teenager, did you have freedom to roam around and hang out with your friends?
Well, I don't quite remember. Well, probably yes, I had the freedom, but in the limited edition.
Mm.
Yeah. For example, I can't travel to another city for 500 kilometers
Mhm.
and so
Sure.
forth, but in limits of the city, yeah, okay, of course. But I see the other trend in a daily life that the modern trend is to how to say uh, to drag the teenager society out to offline meetings,
Mm.
to an
Mhm.
offline meetings.
Mhm.
For example, such projects as Eat With, for example, is
Mm.
a is a is Israeli, yeah,
Oh.
social network,
Uh-huh.
which allows you um, to to cur- mm,
Yeah, yeah.
to provide the offline meetings
Yeah.
uh, as well, how to say, uh,
Like a way to
as
get
a
together. Yeah.
yes, but yes,
Mhm.
yes, eat banquet maybe, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know how to say.
Mhm. Yeah.
Banquet, yeah. They give a banquet to other people as a
Mhm.
way to provide the cultural exchange, and so
Exchange.
forth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
in your city,
Uh-huh.
a meal or a dinner, yeah.
Right. Mhm.
That's right.
Nice.
As a, how to say, as an occasion to get together,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
to talk about the uh, different specific things that are
Right.
interesting. You're interested in.
Yeah, to get together offline, so in person. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Norel, what about you? What in Morocco when you were growing up? Did you have freedom?
Yeah, in Morocco, where I grew up, well, yeah, freedom. I mean, but there is some rules.
Hmm.
You don't have to stay late at
Mhm.
night. I mean, you can't uh, you can't go by yourself to the nightclub.
Mhm.
You have to have your brother with you.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
once there, you cannot just dance with anyone. You must dance with your brother.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Unless if your brother find a date,
Yeah.
then he will keep his eyes out of you so you can find someone else to dance with.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. But nowadays, people are more free, have more some teen. Like I see my niece, my nephew, they
Mm.
have more freedom than I
Oh.
had.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Adela, how about you in Spain? Did you have freedom when you were a teenager?
Not enough in my case because
Yeah.
my mother was always controlling me.
Was she worried
Uh,
about you?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but in general, yes, is I think is teenagers more freedom in this moment because it was possible to join the friends in the street,
Mhm.
go to play football, and since I finished or we finished the class to the time to the diner time
Mhm.
is normally no problems with the traffic or the violence. I think is was more freedom for the teenager,
Mm.
more socialization or
Mhm.
socializate because they are a relationship with the friends. In this moment, only the relationship is with Facebook, or in Spain is very normal with the WhatsApp.
Oh yeah.
In yes, is all people use WhatsApp. Is strange because two teenagers was sitting in a chair same beside, no,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and they talk about for WhatsApp. One is a little strange, no?
Yeah.
Don't talk, only text.
Yeah, when you're right there. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
in the
That's
WhatsApp
weird.
is it's strange.
Okay, yeah. Jose, are you there? Your microphone's muted. I wasn't sure if you're there. Hi,
Yeah.
Jose. Okay. And what about you? What about when you're a teenager?
What? When I was teenager,
Did you have freedom to go and do what you wanted to do? Be with your friends?
a little bit because my parents want to come home early
Hmm. Mhm.
after some time. Some they want me in my house.
Mhm.
They give me a permission to
Mhm.
go with my friends, but depends of the hours. For example, if I was playing 2 hours or more, they call me back to do something, to do my homework or to study or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the parent's job, I guess.
yeah.
Okay, you guys. Well, thanks for joining me for the class and for having the discussion afterwards. It's always fun to hear you guys and learn a little bit about you and what goes on in your lives. So thank you for coming. Thank you for
Thank
participating.
you. Thank you,
Okay.
Lisa.
Hey, if I don't see you, have a happy new year,
Yes, Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
You
See
too.
you. Take care.
Bye.
Hi, Lisa. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for
Good.
asking. How about you?
Good. I'm doing okay.
Great.
I keep forgetting that it's almost the end of the year. Like I keep forgetting what day it is, but actually tomorrow is the last day of this year, right?
Yes, and I'm so happy to get a ride of 2013.
Oh yeah, you say goodbye to 2013.
Yes, I don't like
Okay.
ever numbers, numbers that are not rounded.
Oh really? Okay. 2014 will be better for you.
Hope for all of us. I
For
hope
all of
so.
us. Okay. I like to hear that.
Yes.
That's a good thing. And Miguel, is your microphone working now?
Okay, Lisa,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello, welcome. Okay,
The
we have
second,
everybody. What?
the second class with you.
I didn't hear you. I think your
The
connection
second,
might be a little slow. What? First part only when I see in the little square.
Yes.
So it's Antonio y Adela. Okay. Welcome. And Jose, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Welcome. And Miguel, how are you doing?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
No, I
so
said
you.
Miguel, but he didn't answer. So hi, Paul.
Yes, because yes, it seems that you somehow uh, s- disturbed my name and I can't recognize. Yes, okay. Yeah,
No,
okay.
I was talking to Miguel or Michael, but he's
Oh, yeah.
back now. So
Okay.
sometimes when the class is starting, people are coming in and then dropping because of their internet connection or something. So
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to welcome everybody and get everybody settled into class here.
Yes, typical problem.
Yeah, it takes a couple minutes. Hi,
Yes.
Mario.
can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. My second class with you.
Good. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. I know we had that one class where it was almost all people from Spain. That was
Well,
cool.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
this time we have different people from different places. Okay, you guys, I put the link.
Do you
What, Jose? I mean, Miguel?
the, do you speak
Yes.
Spanish? Okay.
See. Okay. All right, you guys. So here is an article I found today. I was trying to think of an article that we could talk about, like New Year's, setting goals for the New Year, something like that. But I do have a class on New Year's Day, actually, so I probably will do something like that for that day. So this day is just kind of normal things, but I found this interesting, especially because I have teenagers, and I thought it might be something that would be good for discussion. How are you doing?
Hi, Lisa. How are you? How are you?
Doing well. Thank
Yeah,
you.
great. You
Awesome.
had a good Christmas?
Yeah, pretty mellow. Pretty mellow. My three children are older now, so we don't do a lot of gifts. We do like bigger gifts, like they get one or two things instead of lots of
Yeah.
small toys. So
Yeah.
they're happy.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
and I'm happy. Good. Yes. How about you? Good Christmas?
Yeah, good Christmas as well.
Nice.
Everything went fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. It's funny to me because these types of things, every year there's so much build-up. Like it means like thinking about it, planning about it,
Yeah.
and then it just happens, and then it's over, and then it's like
Yeah,
you're on to the
that's it.
next thing. So it's a very
Yeah.
short
It's short,
holiday.
yes.
It doesn't last for like a whole week or something. So it's funny, but it's good. All right, let's see. Nurel's back with us. Hi, Nurel. How are you doing today?
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another hour of English classes here on Verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and in this hour, we're going to be having a reading class. So if you are interested in practicing your reading skills in English, then I hope you join us. To join the class, all you need to do is click on the Join Class button, but you do need to be a member of Verbling.com. So if you are not yet a member, then you can go to the page and pay. It's $45, but I believe they're still having a special, 20% off. So you can try out Verbling for a month to see if you like it, see if you use it. It's a pretty neat service. You get to have English classes anytime, every day, all day long. So just come on every hour on the hour, and a new class is starting. So let's see who's here. Antonio.
Adela.
Or is it Adela? Adela. I remember as soon as I said that. Adela. Hi, Adela. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah,
Fine, fine.
I see the